This holiday season, I'm giving thanks to our friends at Manscaped. Do I tell my extended family that I have the Performance Package 4.0 from the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming? Not to mention, it includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to tame my bush and score brownie points with the in-laws. Gift yourself Manscaped or the man in your life who needs it. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with 20% off plus free shipping with the code TAGS, TAGS, by going to manscaped.com.
Is that Dunkin's new holiday blend coffee?
Sure is, because sometimes the holidays just call for Dunkin'.
What's in it? A spark of holiday spirit?
A cup full of holiday cheer?
Your very own holiday shopper?
Actually, all that, and notes of molasses and dried fruit. Just the warming blend I need for that holiday hustle.
Sit through the holidays with the $2 medium holiday blend coffee at Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply.
You should be saving for the future, but savings accounts suck, and investing can be scary. We combine the ease of savings with the real returns of investing. We call it Save Vesting, and it's only available in our new app, Stairs. Stairs offers 4 to 6% returns, no fees, and you can withdraw anytime. Do your future a favor. Visit stairsapp.com today.
Hey, what is going on? You are listening and watching Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live version. And I'm your host, Steve V. This is episode 315. That's right. And tonight I am going solo. Normally, if you watch or listen to the show, you know Cody Marie Stoggett is my co-host, partner in crime. And he is dealing with some family stuff tonight. And he gave me a message, though, to say he will be back full force next Wednesday night. Tags Live next week. Cody is back. But hey, listen, when in doubt, I've got a full packed show for you, including a little later on the show. I'm going to be joined by a rep of a brand new vodka called Fourth and Pride. Isn't this a really nice bottle they sent me? So excited about this. And they are going to be talking a little bit about how they give back to our community, our LGBTQ plus community, which is really exciting. But first, I thought before we get into the show and our guest, I thought I would show you, because you know we drink on the show, right? So I wanted to make a holiday Tags Teeny that you guys can take with you all holiday season using Fourth and Pride vodka. And it's a little bit of a take on a Cosmopolitan, one of my favorite drinks of all time, partly because I think vodka sodas are so boring, and vodka cranberries I'll do at the club, right? At 2 a.m. when there's nothing else. But something about a Cosmopolitan, it's got that triple sec, that orange thing going on, fresh lime juice. But I'm going to show you how you can take this drink to the next level during the holiday season, because who really wants to be making martinis at their party the whole night? So what I've got here is a shaker filled with ice already. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your Fourth and Pride vodka, which if you don't have it, use your favorite vodka. But hopefully, I really love this one. We're going to talk a little bit about it when my guest comes on the show. You want about an ounce and a half of premium vodka, Fourth and Pride if you can. You want about a half an ounce of triple sec, or you could use Cointreau or something higher end like Grand Marnier. Pour that into your shaker. You definitely want fresh squeezed lime juice. You want about 3/4 of an ounce, but you could use a half an ounce. I like mine a little bit tartar. You want a splash of cranberry juice. And what I love about this right now is they have cranberry pomegranate juice. Pour that into your shaker. Shake this up like there's no tomorrow. All right, so normally what you would do is you would pour this up, right, like a martini. But what you're going to do is you're just going to simply, and I love these glasses that I got. They're these Fourth and Pride pint glasses. You're going to pour that in. And my new favorite is Trader Joe's cranberry and ginger sparkling beverage. It's only here for the holidays. It's going to take your cocktail to the next level. So what you want to do is fill your glass up with a little bit more ice, and then you're going to pour with the sparkling cranberry ginger. It's going to add that extra kick that you're looking for. And look at, you get a little bit more. And this is going to keep your guests from getting a little bit too tipsy, a little too early in the night. Top it off with a straw. I've got my straws that are recyclable, and a garnish of lemon. I tried to find blood orange, but they're not in season yet. And there you go. I'm calling it the Tags Teeny. This recipe will be up on TAGSPodcast.com tomorrow. Try and use Fourth and Pride. Let me just have a sip. Oh yeah, we can start the show now officially. It is really good. That ginger just really gets into the mix, and it's really great. All right, and lastly, I have an announcement. Our Tags merchandise is up and running. Our Tags store. You can get like what I'm wearing, the Tags podcast tank. You can get t-shirts, mugs, all kinds of buttons, everything you need. Tags in the various colors. And right now, today through November 14th, 35% off, and we're talking like $13 tank tops and t-shirts. You do not want to miss out on that. So get it while they're hot now through November 14th. All right. Well, let's get into some hot topics. And, the first thing I wanted to talk about, which I couldn't even believe this, but you guys remember the Pulse shooting that happened a few years ago? I'll never forget it because we were doing a fashion show. This is in Orlando. And we were doing a fashion show. I was producing this fashion show at our New York Eagle here in the city. And the day before we were to do our fashion show, the Pulse shooting in the nightclub happened. And we really were conflicted. Jeremy Ross Lopez, my co-host, was working on this with me, and we were conflicted. Should we do this? Because it really affected our whole community. And I'll just never forget that. I remember giving a speech before the fashion show. It was a benefit as it was, but I broke down because I could not believe what had just happened. Well, now there is a Pulse Memorial in Orlando, and it's for the many, many victims that were murdered on that tragic night. Sadly, on the evening recently of October 12th, a man in a wheelchair was caught on camera vandalizing Pulse Memorial by setting it on fire, and then he fled the scene. And now the One Pulse Foundation has released the approximately 18-minute surveillance video in hopes that someone who sees it can assist the police in identifying this vandal. I'm going to post this on TAGSPodcast.com, the actual surveillance video. I would imagine there's this person that is in a wheelchair is going to, I saw it, and hopefully there's somebody out there that can identify this person because, what kind of sinister person takes down a monument that honors 49 people and 53 people that were wounded, a shooting? I mean, it's just so tragic. And this isn't even the first time that the memorial has been defaced. Back in May of 2020, they had a logo for Pulse nightclub, and they had a little display of it They covered it over with a sticker from a group called Patriot Front, which the Southern Poverty Law Center has identified as a white nationalist hate group. So anyways, I say this because I remember that day so vividly when it happened. I know a friend that lost neighbors in his condo that these were a young couple that they lost their lives in the Pulse shooting, and we need to find this vandal because this is a memorial for that horrific day, but to honor the victims, and may they rest in power. All right. Well, the other day, if you listen to Tag's podcast, episode 314, you'll remember that at the end of the show, Lincoln, Cody, and I were talking about the brand new reboot of Sex and the City, and just like that. And we were talking about Kim Cattrall, how they're not going to kill her off in the reboot, maybe in hopes that she'll come back for a season 2. And essentially they said that Sarah Jessica Parker's character, Carrie, and Samantha just had a fight because Samantha tried to represent her in PR and it didn't go so well. So I have a follow-up to this story. You may have read this. There is a brand new reboot. You know, everything's about the reboot right now. Queer as Folk. Did you guys watch Queer as Folk? If you really know what you're talking about, you will go back to the British original version of it and know that that was the original version of it. And then after was the American version, which I liked. I didn't love, but I liked it. I thought the storylines were a little weak at times, but it was good, right? Who watched Queer as Folk, the American version? Let me know and let me know if you liked it. Well, there is a reboot, but I think this reboot is going to be really good. And I think Kim Cattrall is going to have the last word, because though she said no to the Sex and the City reboot, she did say yes to Queer as Folk, and she will have a recurring role in the new version, Queer as Folk. And though not much is not known about her character yet, we do know that she will play a martini-soaked, high society Southern debutante with trailer park roots. And you know Miss Cattrall can do this role. In fact, there was a short-lived cable show that she was on that she can definitely play that trailer park Southern thing to the hilt. And I think in many ways, it's kind of, the gays were mad at her for not coming back. I think I was certainly kind of mad at her, but she is appeasing us by coming on Queer as Folk, the reboot, and kind of having the last word, as the Sex and the City reboot is going to be coming out around the same time. And they opened the door that she could always go back for the right price check, right? Paycheck, to season 2 of Sex and the City. And just like that. So one other shout out on this, I'm really excited about this actor who's going to be on Queer as Folk, John Sibley. You might know him if you watched, he was on Pose, which I can't remember him on that. He's so sexy and hot, but he was on Hacks. Did you guys watch Hacks? And on Hacks, he was the sexy mailman that ends up getting together with Gene Smart's assistant, and they like have sex the first time, and it was like one of the hottest scenes I'd seen in so long. I was so here for it. It was like really good. Yeah, absolutely. So Victor Moses says, thank you. I watched the American Queer as Folk version too. Yeah, did you like it? I had problems with it, but I liked it. And let me know if you're here for this reboot, and with Kim Cattrall being on it. I am. We'll see what's up with that. All right. Well, this next story I want you guys to weigh in on. It cracked me up. There is this Disney filter, which is back for, as the article writes, happy endings. So those of you that use Snapchat, TikTok, by the way, we are on TikTok now. You can get some great stories and behind the scenes of our show at TAGSPodcast on TikTok. Well, there's this, if you're familiar with the Disney filter, which is generally pretty much used for wholesome content about a main character, then again, it's essentially the big-eyed filter that you can put of like a Prince Charming that will put it on your eyes and essentially make you look like a Disney prince. Well, Walt Disney may roll their eyes on this. Walt Disney might roll his eyes on this because gay creators are using it in their adult content. And I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com, but essentially the one I'm referring to was a guy that goes by Only Superstars SX, and he is sucking a very big white dick as with those eyes. And I'm talking about, it does more even than the eyes. I'm looking at it right now, and essentially it chisels your jawline to look like a Prince Charming, and it gives you those big bulging eyeballs that are like, I guess, a Prince Charming. And this guy is using it as well as many others to suck on a really huge big dick. And I think it's hilarious, but I was so creeped out by it at first because I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know that I could really get into that with those bulging eyes looking up at me. But then I thought, you know what, this could be kind of fun because we didn't have a lot of role models, or at least I didn't when I was growing up. And a lot of what I looked at was Walt Disney, and it would be really hot to maybe try this feature out. And I don't know, are you here for that or not? There, if you can believe this headline, there is an accuser who details a sexual assault allegations against none other CNN's Don Lemon. Yep, a man who accused CNN's Don Lemon of assaulting him in a Hamptons bar 3 years ago claimed that the alleged behavior could be part of a pattern. And the accuser, Dustin Heiss, made the comments on Monday's The Megyn Kelly Show. Well, need we say any more? I can't even believe she has a show. I think it's on Sirius, and then it gets repackaged on YouTube. But on her show, this guy, Dustin Heiss, and you can tell by my tone that I don't believe it at all, because even as Don Lemon's attorneys have fought back against Heiss's lawsuit in court filings, accusing the ex-bartender of withholding texts, deleting social media posts, and hiding a witness who contradicted his claims. So in other words, Heiss had a friend that didn't even back up his friend. And Heiss went on record to say that anybody that acts like that in public without any fear of it might go to somebody or might do to somebody or the consequences it might have. This guy Heiss thinks that it's a pattern. I don't think this story has any weight to it at all. Attorneys for Lemon have outlined a lengthy discovery process in court filings that saw Heiss allegedly admit to deleting numerous social media posts. And Lemon's legal team also said Heiss indicated in text to the key witness in the case that there could be a financial reward for testimony corroborating his story. This screams to me of going for somebody that is in the limelight, an LGBTQ sensation like Don Lemon, and I don't believe it at all. It just doesn't stand up to me. And yeah, there's more to this story. I will post this. Lastly, I want to say, Heiss said he recognized the CNN anchor and called to the bartender for 2 lemon drops. Get it? Lemon drops. Drinks in a play on the host's last name. And then Heiss claimed that Don Lemon put his hand in his crotch and put it up to the other one's nose. I mean, that doesn't sound like anything Don Lemon would do. I'm assuming this story is not going to have much weight to it. I don't know. It seems crazy. And actually, why don't we bring her in right now? Sam, grab a spot.
Hello.
Hello, Sam. How are you? Sam Jindra.
How are you, Steve?
I'm really good. I have to tell you, I am loving 4th and Pride vodka. It is so good. I made my cocktail.
Yeah, honestly, I love honest feedback. What do you think? You really do love it.
I really, really love it. We have to, I know 5% of proceeds go back to the LGBTQ plus community. Can you tell us a little bit about the vodka?
Absolutely. So, Fourth and Pride Vodka, and let me know if you can't hear me. I was actually at a business guild meeting that I forgot was today, and it happened to be at one of our accounts. So I was like, oh wow, I should probably sponsor it.
There you
So
go.
I'm actually at the end of the street of the Curry Mansion Inn, and I love that you reached out to me specifically so far. Up at the Iguana Bars where you had found us, and discovered us. We are national. It is Fourth and Pride. It's a family-owned, local father and son business. They do own the Boiler Room, which I'm sure you are familiar with.
East Village, love it there. Classic.
Yes, they're going on their 30th anniversary. They're the biggest gay dive bar up there, and they decided to make this. Now, they've always made IPAs, different ales, different seltzers, and they always have had them there. But the vodka specifically, they launched actually in Times Square a few weeks before COVID on knowing, not knowing COVID. So at first they were kind of like, oh gosh, what do we do? But, when New York was so strictly shut down, they thought, well, where else can we go? And Key West, Wilton Manors, that stuff came to mind.
Yes.
And, I saw it on Facebook, and I'm not going to lie, it's the only Facebook job ever in my life that has answered me. I had to literally Google them and verify their qualifications. I'm like, wait a minute, who is these people that were in Bourbon Street? And no, they're amazing. Neil and Jesse and Dog, they're an amazing family, father and son. They've seen the struggles that our community, the LGBTQIA community, has gone through in the Lower East Terrace of Brooklyn, New York City, and they wanted to find a way to give back, especially through the hardship of COVID. So it's a vodka. It's distilled 10 times. It's gluten-free. It is a proprietary blend of Midwestern corn and California grape. And as you said, they donate a portion of each bottle directly to DIFA and SAGE.
Nice. I love that. And it's delicious. I found it in my local liquor store. And then, like I said, I contacted you. I want to talk about, I think we lost her there. She should be back for a second.
I can't do anymore, but
right now, where can people find it? Because I know we can send people over to fourthandpride.com. And I know it's in different parts. Where is it, and where is it expanding to?
Oh, okay. So it is almost everywhere in New York City, and I apologize for being so vague. I am the rep in Key West, but I do know that it's almost in every single bar in the Lower East Terrace of Brooklyn, including the Iguana Bar that you had seen it at. It is in Chicago. It is in all of Florida. It is in New Jersey. It is in Buffalo. On the outskirts of Canada. I mean, Fourth and Pride is everywhere. And if you go to www.fourthandpride.com, you can use the zip code search to see where exactly in the city is closest to you that it's located.
Nice. And it sounds like you guys are going to continue to expand, which is really awesome. Real quick, before I let you go, Sam, you're based in Key West, yes?
I am, and I know for a fact that Fourth and Pride Vodka can be the next Tito's, and I'll tell you why. Yesterday, real quick, I went to what's called the Absinthe House. It's a very local Navy-based place where people are literally originating from Mississippi with moonshine recipes from the 1800s, right?
Wow.
They are making their own whiskeys, their own absinthe, their own vodka. And when I went to them a few days ago with mine, I mean, they were blown away, and they explained to me the origination of Tito himself, Tito's vodka. Because I went in there like, this will be the next Tito. And he said, let me explain to you Tito. And when he told me the history of how he was the first person to say, why can't I make my own vodka as opposed to corporations? And he sort of legally found the loophole to a handmade craft vodka. And, after hearing that story, I realized that our family, Fourth and Pride, both Neil, Jesse, and Dog, we are in it for the same exact reasons. We are doing tastings at all of our locations all day, every day. We are my own person. I'm walking from the southernmost point of Duval to the opposite end with cases of vodka, with my tent, with my stuff, setting up events all day, every day. And the fact that these people, Key West smugglers who have been around for generations, really recognized our efforts to be similar to Tito's, who he had met himself. I really think that this will be with Tito's for sure.
I'm so glad you said that too, and I love the growth of it, because I think so many of us, we get kind of lazy, and when we go out, it's so easy to say, I'll have a Tito's vodka, and we love Tito's. It's just the easy one. But when there's a product out there that we know was made and supports our community, I love that this is kind of coming through, and I think you guys are on the path to make this happen. And it's only, we need to start supporting by our cocktail dollars with 4th and Pride. So I think that's really awesome.
I mean, can I just tell you that, here in Key West, there's a huge biker gang and these big burly dudes who come up and they're like, I will only drink Tito's. And I'm like, you are going to like this better. And they do. And they're like, oh my gosh. So I just know that if the name, if it verbalizes in our existence and we say it, it will really be the next Tito's. And it should be it for sure, because it's better, it's cleaner. I'm sure tomorrow I will bet money on it that you're going to feel good tomorrow morning. And that's the biggest thing for me, that when I started doing this, sorry, a lot of airplanes in Key West.
You're good. I can hear you.
Okay. When I started doing this at first, a lot of people warned me like, oh man, plain vodka, everyone's doing this. But then there was a reporter down here who was at the end of my tasting, not to my accord, in a drunk take in the police station. And she wakes up completely sober, like, why am I in here? What happened? Her and her husband were shoeless walking down the street. They were just worried, so they picked them up. And another place at the Alexander Guest House, I mean, these ladies are pouring bottles into their mouth in the pool. And the next morning, they're stopping me on the street like, I can't believe I wasn't hungover at all.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, okay, like that speaks for itself. It does, aside from the mission statement,
Yeah.
aside from,
Hi, people. Sam, I got to ask you one last question before I let you go. I love it. Thank you. I got to ask you one last question. You are in one of my favorite places, Key West, and you just finished Carnival, right? What can you tell us about Carnival, and why should we come to Key West?
Oh, do you mean the Kinky Carnival?
Yes, Kinky. Is that what it's called? Kinky Carnival?
So Kinky Carnival, that is something that happened during Fantasy Fest. And it's funny you say that, because Kinky Carnival is hosted at the place that I happen to be sitting at, which is not where I was before.
Okay.
I answered this call. It's called First Flight, and they do Kinky Carnival. And basically Fantasy Fest is 2 weeks of people.
Say it again, Fantasy
Fest.
Fantasy Fest, got it.
Yes, it's 2 weeks of people just being people. Down here, it's one human family, and that's where 4th and Pride really is just engulfing themselves in that status. We're about equality. We're about one human family. And down here, people are basically not wearing clothes.
Well, we love that here.
And that's what, Kinky Carnival was. It's just, it's Fantasy Fest. It's literally that. It's your own fantasy. You be what you want. I mean, I was Wonder Woman. I was a unicorn.
I love it.
We encourage you guys next year. Please come down. I know this year was technically canceled, but we would love to see everyone next year.
Well, I'm a big Island House fan there. I don't know if you know Island House.
I do know Mark and Jim at the Island House. We were hopefully going to be there soon. At first, months ago when I first started this job, to be honest, there was only 2 or 3 accounts that they dropped in my lap, and they're like, this is what we have. And in the past month and a half, there's like 35 plus places, and everyone's like, go back to Island House, talk to Jim, and now we're going to be in the Island House finally.
Okay, I will be there hopefully in February, so I hope to meet you then.
Perfect.
Yes. Sam, I want to thank you. How can people follow 4th and Pride as it continues to roll out? Should they just follow social media at 4th and Pride?
Yes, there's Facebook 4th and Pride with the and symbol, Instagram as well. You can also follow myself. I am the solo rep as of right now. We have a few out on injuries and COVID-related issues across the nation. So currently I am the active 4th and Pride rep for the nation. I am at Oxy the Moron on Instagram.
I love that.
4th and Pride. Yeah, I know. It's from a long time ago. So, it's the middle school days. But Oxy the Moron or 4th and Pride with the and symbol on Facebook and Instagram.
I love it, Sam. Thank you so much. And I hope to meet you when I come in February to Key West. Can't
Steve,
wait.
honestly, you have a place with me. I have a very small 2-bedroom apartment, but you're always welcome. You can also get a bottle mailed to you at fourthandpride.com, depending on the legality of your state.
There you go. I love it. Thank you so much, Sam. We'll be in
Thank you, Steve, for
contact.
reaching out to me, because in reality, you
Yes.
could have talked to anyone in New York, and I was like, you've reached out to me all the way down here. Okay.
I wanted
So
Sam.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Have a great night, everybody. I love New York.
Yay. Hey guys, your buddy Steve V here, host of TAGSPodcast, and I want to tell you what I'm thankful for this season. It's Manscaped. Recently, I told you I went to the Halloween Allegria party where I wore nothing but a leather apron. Ass was out. Well, you know I needed to trim my bush down underarms, and so forth. My favorite product was the Ultra Smooth Package by Manscaped, which includes the Crop Exfoliator, Crop Gel, and a great small blade that it comes with that really did the job. I'm telling you, no nicks, cuts, or any of that. It was so seamless. I did it in the shower, my go-to. Think your holiday spread is good? It's time for you to give thanks to Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, or as I like to call it, the perfect package for your package. And inside you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Think of it as a cornucopia for your balls. And you can't forget the Manscaped's liquid formulations. They're like the pumpkin pie and ice cream after Thanksgiving dinner. Can't live without it. And let me tell you real quick, Manscaped has been busy and just launched their refined body wash and 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner. Both feature the Manscaped signature scent and will help unlock your confidence this year. Your boys and body will be oh so fresh and so clean when you start off your self-care routine with the ultimate body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. So get 20% off plus free shipping with the code TAGS, T-A-G-S, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code TAGS at manscaped.com. Be thankful this holiday season for the best gift of all from Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
I'm a New Yorker.
Okay.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. I really cannot say enough about 4th and Pride. And as it comes out, I do think that we get a little, oops, I almost dropped that. We get a little bit lazy with our Tito's and soda. And so, hey, Teddy Alexis, how are you?
I'm good, here to help you.
Thank you. Am I bombing? Am I?
No, but I think you need like a little extra help.
Thank you.
I was not dressed when the show started, so I'm like, okay, let me get ready really fast.
Thank you. I know it's so funny because I do our after show and it's about 25 minutes and I do it solo and it's me just talking and it's very Wendy and all that. And I can do a good 20 minutes, but people don't realize that when we do this show, even when Cody and I do the show together, shows like that are an hour long aren't even really an hour. They're like, I think 40 some odd minutes with commercial breaks. Cody and I do the show bouncing off each other for that entire time. And then to do the whole show by yourself, it's a whole thing. So thank you so much for jumping in. Well,
no, you two are incredible.
Oh my God. What were your thoughts real quick? Because I want to get into some topics with you before for the remainder of the show. What did you think of Don Lemon, that whole accusation?
Oh my God. So I was looking at it while you were talking to Sam, and like these accusations are really serious. And there's been 3 attempts from the Don Lemon people to settle it. Like that means that to pay them and like not have it on court. And the guy has turned it down. So that's how serious that is, that he's actually willing to go through court, because when you go through court, you open yourself up to be deposed.
Oh, I didn't know this part of it. So wow.
Yeah. So it's like really serious. Also, like when when you're famous, you have to be super careful. So when we have like
Yes.
lifestyles, like in the gay community, LGBT, like anything can be misconstrued in, the straight lens, because when you're in court, really, you're not going through an LGBT sensitivity lens. They're all looking at it as like a straight person. So anything that you do, like, is normal to us, that it won't be seen okay by the court. So it's like really dangerous situation that he's in.
And this was 3 years ago, allegedly. And it's so funny that you say you have to be really careful when you're in the public eye. Part of our show is being sexual. And I was telling a story recently on the dance floor where a guy in my leather apron where my ass was out was like putting his hand by my ass and fingering, yeah, and fingering me, and then to put his hand. But that was, he did that, and I allowed it to happen, and I told it on my platform, and all it was copacetic. But I then ran into somebody at my local bar, Eagle, and he was asking me, he's like, you should do an OnlyFans, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But he also then, because I think he's a manager for talent, and he said, oh, but you can't have an OnlyFans if you want to go like more mainstream. And so I'm like, so you're contradicting yourself, because I want this show to go more mainstream. And so what is it? Can you do OnlyFans? Can you not? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think all these managers and stuff, I don't think they know anything.
You're right.
When I got here, one of the things that they were saying is like to not have content on your social media. And now it's the opposite. Like everybody's getting booked from the content that they have in their social media. Like if you have a legit following, they will book you in shows like that. Like I'm trying to think of like a specific name. So there's a bunch of Netflix shows that are from social media that it was just like a YouTube thing. Insecure is a show that was a YouTube show.
The HBO.
Yeah, the Issa Rae show.
Oh, I love that. Final season.
She had like a little sketch show on, I shouldn't say little. She had a sketch show on YouTube, and it was called Awkward. I think it was called Awkward Black Girl. And that's what got her traction with HBO executive. And that's what she basically pitched.
Launched her career,
like a similar show, which was Insecure. Now she has like an overall deal with HBO. She's developing like 3 or 4 shows. So.
Right. Yeah. So you can't always listen to the management.
So so when is your OnlyFans coming?
You'll be the first to know. How about that?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and you'll be my non-manager. How about that?
Got it.
Okay. Well, Adam's Toy Box is one of our sponsors, and you guys can always get 20% off all fun toys. We're talking from lubes to pumps to all BDSM toys, and just simply use our promo code TAGS, TAGS, and you'll get 20% off. But they do these blogs on there, and I was looking on there, and they have 10 tips for gay sex in a car.
Oh.
Teddy, have you had sex in a car before? you opened up Pandora's box by coming on the show, so we're gonna get into it. We'll read some of these 10 tips on how to do it. I'll share with you some of mine. But first question: have you? You could say yes or no.
Well, the answer is actually yes and no. I have attempted to.
It's clumsy, right?
Well, I am 6'2". I'm a big man.
You're 6'2", so you never can tell. That's so funny. Okay,
so I'm 6'2", 200 plus. So it's not like I'm like the most. Like I need more space. Like of course, like if you're 5'2", like my friend was like, I love having sex. I'm like, bitch, you're 5'2" and 100 pounds. Like of course you can have sex in like whatever.
I mean, if you're in a Hummer, maybe anybody could have sex in a certain vehicle. And I love a good SUV. I know it's not like the PC thing to say right now in global warming, but I do love a black car. I love those moments. And I think anybody can kind of get in there.
You see, that's my problem. I have a busted Corolla. So.
Okay. However, I'm going to tell you my story. There was a guy when I lived in your neck of the woods, LA, for so many years. And he was my fuck buddy for a long period of time. And he was 6'3", huge guy, huge dick, and we had great sex. Well, cut to, I moved to New York. I went to Palm Springs. It was, I think, their gay pride over there. I ran into him years later. He still looked great. We were all over each other at one of the leather, I think the barracks or the barracks. I always want to make it everything British here. The barracks. And we ran into each other. The chemistry was still alive. And so we were in a bathroom, like getting hot and heavy. Well, we wanted to continue the party. And my friends were like, well, we're going to go to this Mexican restaurant. I said, well, okay. I went with him, and he had, I want to say, a Corolla, 6'3", all of him. We made it work. Where there is a will, there is a way. We got into the back street, and he kind of lied, lengthwise from his head on one end of the window and his feet on the other. And
you guys were in the front or the back?
The back seat. No stick shift drive in our ass. I had his stick shift drive was big enough for me, and we made it work. It was more of like that side kind of fucking that you can do.
Gotcha.
And it worked. It was super hot. We were in a place that we couldn't get caught, and it worked.
Wait, how tall are you though?
I'm 5'10", 5'11".
Okay.
On a good day.
So you're a 5'9". Okay, got it.
No, I'm really 5'10" and 3/4. But let me tell you some of the things that the 10 tips for gay sex in a car. They write, park in a discreet spot. And that I agree with, because we had a recent listener write into us who asked us, I want to have outdoor sex, but I work in education and I don't want to get caught. So I agree with this. When I did my sex in a car, it was on a dark street, and I agree. Don't do it in an intersection of La Cienega and Santa Monica. Yeah,
gotta be careful. Be careful.
Try and hide your act, they say. So if you've got tinted black windows, even better. Put a towel, they say, or a jacket over the windows. That's too much work. When you're in the heat of the moment, come on now, right?
That sounds like you're homeless, or you're exactly doing what?
You're probably drawing more attention is what you're saying, right? So I don't know about that. They do say this, and I guess I should agree. Car sex should be a quickie. So it's not like you ever completely... They're essentially saying this isn't like
this is not
position.
The Titanic.
They
scene,
say
right?
Right, exactly. Long and car sex should be 20-minute rendezvous or less. I can do it in 10.
20 minutes.
Get off that gear switch. Well, that goes to what you were saying. Yeah, don't do it in the middle. Go in the back seat. Make the situation as comfortable as possible. Listen to your partner and pay attention to what is helping get him off and not. That's kind of key, right? Because
isn't that true for every sex encounter, though?
That really is. That's kind of a generic one. I know. I love how they write in here, check in occasionally with your man to make sure he isn't being poked by something other than your penis. I mean, if you're how much time did we say we had? I thought we only had like 20 max. And lastly, bring the lube. Or a good spit moment can work too. I'm just saying. But yes, as according to our good doctor, Dr. Goldstring, lube. And you know what I've gotten really good at, Teddy, is carrying these little packets of lube with me, just in case.
You see, I always...
one last tip that hand sanitizers, how they make them in the smallest of smallest, right, these days. I took a recent one and emptied out the dated sanitizer and put it with lube. Yeah. And so everyone just thinks I have. So it's like I'm ready to go.
You're always ready to go. I love that. I love that about you. Yeah. You know what? I actually, I'm going to say something. I had something during the pandemic where I had I call it my sex bag. And
bag of tricks.
And I had lube in there, and I had hand sanitizer. And I was bottoming, and the guy went from the hand sanitizer, and I didn't notice. And he put... It ruined the moment.
Yeah, because we're talking about alcohol and oh no.
And it was like right in the middle of it, so it was kind of like kind of like a refill when you're like, oh, a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That reminds me, we should do a show on ruining the moment of
Misadventures.
misadventures when it just comes to a screeching halt. I'll never forget the time where I was getting it on with a guy and he was all about the poppers. And I was like, yeah, fine. Let's just do it. Because I can take him or leave him. And he was all about it. And he was on top of me. And he did his popper hit and spilled a ton of poppers on, which went into my eye and burned my eye. And I'm like, you motherfucker, like I didn't need this. And you and let me tell you, who even really knows what's in poppers? I mean, come on now. And if it gets in your eyes, game over. I had to hit reset, kick him out, clean the sheets, and not even get off. So it was. I'm
sorry. I just saw a documentary on poppers.
It was 5 years ago, so it's okay. But
it's okay. You're over
moved on. Yeah. You saw a documentary on what?
On poppers.
There's a documentary on poppers. I'm
gonna find it and send it to you.
Okay, please, because we got to get that director on.
Basically, they're all the same. You know how there's like 27 versions of it?
Yeah, right. Allegedly.
And they're basically, it costs like $2 to make them, and we pay like $20 for a little bottle. So the markup is insane. So we should get on the popper business.
Let's get into it. And I want to play my favorite game that Cody and I always play at the end of every show. It's called Thirst Trap, brought to you by Straight Up Gay Porn. I put it in the comments section.
Okay, let me see if I can see it.
Yeah, see if you can see it. I'll go first. And this is our favorite segment by StraightUpGayPorn.com. They pick porn stars and OnlyFans people.
Absolutely.
This week they picked 18 gay porn stars, and they asked the question, who took the best photo or video? And it's our job to descriptively describe on a show where we can't show you, although I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com tomorrow, who took the best one. And I struggled with this one because out of all of them, D'Angelo Jackson was on our show, and he's giving us ass and his beautiful feet in this picture on this week's selection. And when I got to interview D'Angelo Jackson, he was such a just awesome soul and super hot and sexy. But I guess if I had to pick, and there was a bunch of them that I didn't know where to go, and let me just scrolling to the one I want. Oh yes, the one I ended up picking is so not like me, but essentially it's Kane Fox, Kane Fox, Kane Fox. And he has this 12-second video where he asked the question on his Twitter account, would you watch football with me? And he proceeds to show his ass, spread his legs. He's wearing a football jersey. He has a nice dick. And for somebody like me, he's got his legs spread open. For someone that's not a football fanatic here, he would, you know how football games are like hours and hours. He would keep it interesting to me because we would watch a little football, gawk at the players, eat a little bit of popcorn, and have some Fourth and Pride and play. And he looks like he would keep the whole 3 to 4 hour experience. I'm not talking Super Bowl, but really fun and interesting. So I'm all here for it. But so Kane Fox gets my vote. D'Angelo Jackson, runner up, just because I love him. Who is your pick? Teddy Alexis Rodriguez. We share the same last name.
Yeah. Okay. I've been struggling to find it because I cannot hit the link.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
But I found it.
Okay.
You know what? If they're gonna have Raheem Shazab here,
yes,
like I just have to pick him because he's just like the. Oh, your boy Diego Matos is here too, right?
I didn't see him, but is he in there?
Maybe I'm on the wrong one.
Perhaps.
I am in the wrong one. I'm in the January one.
Okay, but you do like. What's your normal type for these kind of pictures? What are they normally doing? Just tell us that.
Yeah, I like somebody that is like not posy too much. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
If it, in
so
like
you
I
hate
like
me because I need my proper lights and it's all about everything, or I scrap it. But
But
okay, go
like
ahead.
the guy that you picked though, he was like just like kind of like posting and be like kind of like, oh
Yeah, I
come
like
on.
it for other people, just not me. But yeah,
If
I
it's a
love when
funny thing,
yeah.
if it's a funny bit, I like it. So I like that. But this old one is Raheem is in it, and this is like that like passionate top from Hollywood that we talked about like a couple
Yes.
months. Like I always love him. I think I haven't run into him in the gym though, so I'm like kind of jealous. Everybody keeps seeing in there like he's going to the Hollywood gym. I'm like, I never see him. I do see Coulter. You know who Coulter is?
No, who is this?
He's another porn star, but he has this website called Culture's Den,
How are we
and
spelling culture?
I think it's just Culter.
Okay.
Ter, yeah. And he's like a very huge top in terms of like his penis is like really huge. He's not a big guy. He's like 5'9". I see him at the gym literally every day, and he's soft. It looks like a huge hard on. Like he's just doing chest, and his dick is like half a foot out.
my
You know what I
God.
mean?
Yes.
And I'm just like, this dude, and he's not hard or anything. Like I can tell that he's soft. And I'm like, damn, like these
Teddy,
bottoms.
send me that link real quick, Teddy. You had a short film that came out. Hell no. And is it available for people to watch yet, or is it still making the rounds?
So we still have like a couple more months for
distribution
for festivals. So
Okay.
we'll see.
All right. Well, much love and respect on that. I want to thank you. How can people follow you, Teddy?
At Teddy Alexis and everywhere. Or my website is teddyrodriguez.com.
I love it. Thank you for saving the day and helping me out. Cody Maurice will be back. We will have you, though, back on the show. I just want to make a quick announcement, too, also that if you go to TAGSPodcast.com, I write some reviews. I'm starting to write some reviews. And there is a out gay, one of my favorite R&B artists, Rasan Patterson, who's been around since the late 90s. And I love him. He has a new remix album called Heroes and Gods 2.0. And I wrote a review on it, which I love this reimagined Quentin Harris remixed album. It's so good. Go to tagspodcast.com and read the review and then download the album because it's going to be your go-to workout or getting ready album. Thanks, Teddy. This was fun. Super fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, Fourth and Pride. And you can always follow us at Tags Podcast. All new shows next week. Thank you so much. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay
sex.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.